Hey, what's up? This is Mike, and today I got a really awesome lesson for you where we're going to talk about how to write a 16-bar solo or lead. And I think this is a really important thing to be able to do because when you want to sound more advanced in your playing, whether it's in the studio or live and improvising, what I think you want to do is really focus on writing leads and melodies that are memorable, that grab people's attention and that keep that attention and want them, get them wanting more from you. And when I first started out, I remember when I would go to play leads or improvise or solo, I would just kind of find the key, use my scale, and just kind of play all over the place without any real guideline or outline to help me build something that's going to be cool. As I got better, I found and started, looking into ways to create leads that are that are more interesting to listen to. And so what I'm going to do right now is just play for you real quick, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to use to teach you this whole concept. And this is going to be a little jam that you probably are a little familiar with if you caught my previous lesson where we jammed out in the woods. This is going to be jamming to a song that I'm working on. So let me play for you, and I'll dive into a lesson to show you how you could write 16-bar solos. Okay, awesome. So there was a 16-bar solo, and just some background information. This is a song I'm working on writing. The rhythm is something that we did previous with the lesson where we were doing Shout Out in the Woods, where I kind of showed you the rhythms and everything else. It's in B minor, and the cool thing about right now is that I've added a bass line to this groove, and it's really helped it more establish the groove and make it more fun and to listen to and to solo on. So here's the big concept if you haven't kind of caught it already. One of the things that I do to help write out my solos is find licks that you could repeat for at least 4 bars. Because when you have repetition, number one, it helps people know that this is what I wanted to say. This is what I planned on playing and this is what I want you to hear. When you just kind of noodle around scales and licks that usually nothing will really stick out that someone could grab onto and say that was cool and keep doing it. And also as a player, you want to write something that you could remember. I have a lot of students who are awesome players, and then I'll ask them, hey, can you play that for me again? And they're like, no, I don't really know what I did. Which is fine at first, but when you're writing to be, especially for the studio, but for the live as well, you want licks that really stand out. So the first concept here, when you're jamming and writing your leads, find licks that you could repeat. Now, here's the one that I used to start off with. I covered this a little bit in the first lesson we did, but let me show you a little bit more advanced. And also, just to note, obviously I'm on my electric now. I got my amp cranked and, got some cool shredding tone. When I first wrote a lot of these, they were on my nylon guitar, which I love doing because it really helps you, get rid of sustain, distortion, and all these other things to really hone in on just the melody and the sound of the notes. Now when I come to electric, the techniques are there, it's easy, everything sounds nice and full. So here's the lick. Now this is a stretch, and it's not a necessarily easy lick, but it's a lot of fun to play. So I'm starting on the 4th fret with my first finger, and I'm hammering on to the 7th fret and then the 9th fret. So it goes like this. That I got my thumb is really low on the neck. I got my hand down so I could really make this stretch, and I kind of roll my hand as I do the lick. After I play those first 3 notes, I go to the 4th fret on the G string and then come back down. Okay. little bit weird to do slow because these two notes are the same note. However, when you do it fast and put it into the certain phrase that I do, it's really cool. Okay, so I'll try to tab these out so you can get a better example of them. And the idea here isn't to learn to play exactly what I'm doing. It's just so I could tell you how you could go out there and write your own solos, okay? But, so the first idea, write or figure out licks and melody lines that you could repeat. The other thing that this does is it really helps build anticipation. So when people are listening to you and you sit there doing the same lick over and over, it's usually building intensity. In my opinion, that's what this lick does at the beginning, is it really helps keep it going, and it's like, you know, because it's fast, it's got a lot of energy to it. Now, when you build that anticipation and that tension, you could release it. And that's one of the things that makes music so interesting to listen to, is tension and release. How are you building tension, and then how do you release it? That makes exciting things to listen to. So after this lick repeats for 4 bars, we're going to come out of it by doing this. Alright, this is just pentatonic, so we're playing at the 7th fret on the G string and going to the 4th fret. The same notes on the D string, and then it ends on B, which is the 4th fret on the G string. So here's the whole first 6 bars. And then coming out of that, we're going to do a scale run. Alright, and now this scale run is a kind of a way to tie 2 ideas together. When I write solos that I know need to be a certain length, I'll usually jam on a rhythm for a while, find some melody ideas that really work great, and then find some licks or runs that I could do to patch other ideas together. And this run is an example of it. Okay, I'll do that really slow, so if you want to learn it by watching my fingers, you can. A minor scale run straight down. There's one note that I believe skips when you get to the D string. However, again, also a thing that helps me here, knowing my scales horizontally to connect ideas together. Okay. Now, and then the last lick that this ends on is this really cool melody where I'm doing pull-offs. So I start on the 7th fret of the B string, and I pull off to open B, and then play the 9th fret on the G string. And that just kind of keeps on looping. Alright, and then we're going to go to the 10th fret on the E string. And that's the final melody. So, okay, cool. So, the main idea, find those melodies that you could repeat, create tension, and then resolve it by doing some other licks. Now that is 8 bars, so for the next 8 bars, I take the same idea and just do it again with a simple melody, or a different melody. Something along the lines of this. Okay, and this is just playing from the B minor, or from the B blues scale. I start off at the 7th fret, and play the first 3 notes in a row, so 7, 8, 9. That combination. But again, it's taking a theme, repeating it a couple times to create tension. Something that you want to do, though, depending on the lick, is maybe create a little bit of variation so that it's not too robotic. You know, so in this case, the second time I go higher. But again, it helps me get something that I could repeat so that I know it's something that I meant to play. When people hear it, they say, yeah, I could tell you meant to play that. And then you just look for other licks to resolve it. But again, this helps me sculpt out solos that are either 8 bars or 16 bars or you know, whatever the length the time I have. Because I'm writing this song for the studio, you know, I'm kind of really planning everything out. I plan out how many bars my solo is going to be, and then start working on really cool melody ideas. So hopefully that helps out. Again, the main concept, look for those melodies, licks that you could do to repeat for at least 4 bars, create some tension, and find a bunch of them, and then find ways to string them together. And that'll help you build an 8-bar or 16-bar solo that's a lot of fun to play. It's got a lot of energy to it. It's fun to listen to. And it's something that you could use over and over and just tweak it for certain, you know, different styles of music, if it's blues, rock, or whatever, okay? So I'm going to post this jam track right below this video because this one, again, it has the bass line to it. It's a lot of fun to jam to. The actual main rhythm is 8 bars long. Again, we're in the key of B minor, and our tempo is at 110. So even if you're just starting out, you could simply use the B minor pentatonic scale, start at the 7th fret, and just noodle around and see what you could find. You know, look for those repetitive patterns that you could repeat over and over, create that tension, and find cool ways to resolve it. And again, if you have any questions, comments, please leave them right below this video. I'll answer them. I'll maybe even shoot another video because you could see that this is kind of an involved topic, and I want to hear your input on it. So please leave questions, and I'll get back to you and you know, hopefully clear it up and help you out the best I can. But again, use this backing track to write your own rhythms. You can learn what I did and have fun with it, but also don't be afraid to jump in and figure out creating your own stuff. So yeah, hopefully this helped. This is Mike, and we'll be at you real soon with a new video. Later.